How could this happen to me? I made my mistake.
Check it out. This is the world's fastest turbo snowboard course. The local champions are the Sasquatch Six, a gang of Yetis on souped-up snow discs. I bet that you could outrace the lot of them. If you win, we get a huge pile of treasure. If you lose, I have to slick down the whole course with my tongue. So, ready to race? Right on! Just don't lose, or my tongue's gonna be a popsicle.
Alright. So this is actually, like I said, a pretty tricky final minigame here. And for all intents and purposes, it really is the final challenge of the game. So obviously, as you can see, it is literally the snowboard, or the skateboarding controls from the other minigame sections that we played earlier in the stage, or in the game. But obviously it's a bit trickier now because the course is so much more complicated, and those Yetis are not gonna give you any quarter. So you really have to haul arse if you're gonna beat this. Obviously, like all the other mini games in Spyro 3, there's some help to be had in the form of the automatic difficulty slider. But you know, you can't totally depend on that. Is what I'm trying to say. It's gonna get tricky here. You got to make sure to pull off some really good tricks to keep your boost meter up. Otherwise, you're gonna have some trouble with that. And you know, obviously, there are a whole bunch of different tricks you can try. My recommendation is at the start of the race, try to do a raging riptoe. If you can manage to pull off one of those guys, you will fill up your meter pretty quickly. And if you can manage to do 4 tricks in a row, that'll also help. I guess there are a couple of gems I missed as well. Yeah, but these guys don't fuck around. There we go, I did a raging riptoe that filled up my bar all the way. Okay, I somehow managed to get all the way over here. I think that's technically a cheat. And that's one of the... when I was practicing for this playthrough, that was one of the things that my friend TGX recommended, was to... I think technically that screwed me over. I'm gonna have to restart here.
Check it out.
Alright, so we're gonna do our raging riptoe right away. And that is how you do it. You basically turn yourself around in mid-air. Oh, yeah. Only problem with trying to do a raging riptoe right at the start there is that it sends you backwards for some reason. So you gotta be careful with that. So you do have to get a good trick right out of the gate, and if you, that's the secret to winning with Sasquatch 6. So we managed to do one of those, and that filled up her bar pretty quickly. Shit. So yeah, twisted lemons, twisted limes are a good strategy. Because they're easy to pull off and they're considered an advanced trick. So you will get a lot more boost energy for pulling them off than you will for doing some other tricks. Of course, if you could somehow manage to do a raging riptoe or a nasty Nork, that'll also help as well. Oh boy. I'm gonna have to think of something here. Got a gem I missed. Alright, so we're keeping up so far. Yeah, but the Sasquatch 6 definitely do not fuck around, so you gotta put your best foot forward on this one if you want to win this race. Wow, I can't believe I managed to do that. That's actually pretty neat. And I do find that with this race, the less you try to overthink things, the more likely you are to succeed and actually win, you know? I find that the more loops that you manage to do in a row while you're in the air, the better chance you have of getting in first place. Oh boy. Boy, I gotta focus on this, otherwise we could be here all night. Are we already on lap 3? Man. Come on, get him! Get him! Piece of shit rocket. Looks like we made it to last place. Or second place.
I think...
Let's try that again. Alright. Probably gonna stop commentating at this point, because I really do have to focus if I'm gonna beat this. This is like I said, this is a pretty tricky minigame. And if you've played Spyro 3 before, you know what I'm getting at here.
Yes! You schooled them like a bunch of frost-bitten, flat-footed, molasses-eating, lead-pants-wearing, cross-eyed glacier trolls riding slabs of plywood with sandpaper on the bottom! And we won some shiny stuff, too.
Oh, Greg Burger. He always seems to have a lot of fun acting for these games, you know what I'm saying? Alright, so it looks like we are missing a gem. It's probably upstairs somewhere. Looks like we got one up there. Oh boy. Oh, and by the way, this song that is playing here, if you've ever, if you have the Black Label version of the game, this song would play in Lost Fleet. But it is supposed to play in this level, but I don't know. Who knows what happened. Alright, so let's go grab that last gem. Then we'll go take out those flying thieves. Should be done with the game pretty soon. That it? Let's go double check that I didn't miss anything in there. There was no way I could get off the board. Nope, that's it. We're done. Head on back to the center room here. And, alright, so next up on the agenda, we have collected enough treasure to open this door over here. And once we get up there, we see a combination power-up. So this will give us Super Flame and Super Flight, just like in Metropolis. Pretty sure that happened earlier, and I find that they have some homing properties in this game. Because we have some sheep saucers to shoot at here. And yeah, your shots will home in on them, obviously, so... Yeah, so that makes it a little bit easier. Just fly around, shoot the sheep saucers, grab that last bit of treasure there. They will be hiding around places in the level, obviously, so... You know, it just gives you that one extra angle on the level that's kind of fun. Kind of fun to see this come back one last time before the curtains close. And to that, I tip my hat to the developers. If you've seen my Mega Man and Bass playthrough, then you'll know what that's a reference to, but, you know, regardless. Okay, it looks like our last sheep is down there. By the way, they're like shaved sheep, you know, sheared, I think is the term. But they don't have any wool. ¿Dónde estás? Ahí estás. Voy a derrotarte. Alright, we got him. That's it. We have collected all the looks like we missed something over here. Alright, that's it. That's literally it. We have collected all the treasure in this level. So all that's left is to enter that door and see what lies behind it. There might be a secret boss, folks. I mean, after the sorceress didn't die, you could never guess who the final boss is.
I don't know how she did it, Spyro, but the sorceress must have survived that last battle. She's been waiting here all this time, saving up her magic to destroy you. Your best chance to defeat her is to borrow my flying saucer. I've cast some spells on it to give it extra firepower and unlimited flying time, but the rest is going to be up to you.
Alright, so this boss is exactly like the final stage of the Ripto boss in Spyro 2, where you are flying above a pit of instant kill liquid, and you have to shoot at the boss. But this is much harder, in my opinion, than the final stage of Ripto, because obviously you have to hit her more than a few times this time around, and she has homing shots. Actually, I think Ripto had homing shots too, but I don't really remember. So basically, they just took the boss from Spyro 2 and split it into 2 stages for this game, which is fine by me, but you know, still, her homing shots are annoying. The best way I've found to avoid them. And another annoying thing about WoW, that is the fastest I have ever beaten that boss. Usually I die a couple times at least, but yeah. One last dragon? Twins! And those are the only twins that hatch in this entire game. So this is your reward for all your efforts, folks. Enjoy. And yeah, that's it. That is your reward for defeating the sorceress and getting 100%. And to be honest, even by collectathon standards, that kind of sucks. Because you know, it's one thing to play a game and then just have your reward for 100%ing it be a postcard. It's another thing when it's like you actually do kind of get something, but it's almost like it's making fun of you, you know? So if I can give Spyro 2 credit, even though I'm not a huge fan of the new Game Plus mode or even really bothered to play it, no, that's a little bit more substantial than a dragon burping at the camera. But I digress. That's pretty much it for Spyro 3. There are a couple more things we need to do. One last thing I want to show off, but this is pretty much it. This is the end of the original Spyro trilogy on the PlayStation, and my, what a ride it has been, ladies and gentlemen. In terms of my final thoughts on Spyro 3, I love this game to pieces. It is one of my favorite games of all time. It is probably, I don't know, it's up there in terms of my favorite collectathons. It's really, like I've been saying since the beginning of the playthrough, I liked how it was able to kind of combine the best aspects of Spyro 1 and Spyro 2 while sort of improving upon both games. Like, you have the tight, straightforward, tightly paced level design from Spyro 1 in terms of like the main levels, but because of the new minigame portals, you can keep the variety from Spyro 2 without any of the annoying backtracking minigames like Bombo the Flake Keeper. In terms of the main Spyro gameplay, I find that it is, you know, just that slightest bit improved over Spyro 2. It was great in Spyro 2, but it's just that slightest bit better here. I really enjoyed seeing all the characters. I liked a lot of the ideas for the new worlds. The music is really strong in this one. My personal favorite soundtrack of the trilogy, though Spyro 2 is very close second. I thought that the story was a big improvement over Spyro 2 for all the reasons I've talked about non-stop throughout this entire playthrough. Bianca has character development, the villain actually affects things in the levels, and her plan is actually explained. It isn't some generic, I want to take over the world nonsense. I thought Moneybags was a big improvement in this game. He was great in Spyro 2, but he's even better here. He's just the asshole you love to hate. I thought the graphics were the best of the trilogy, and look, you know, it's like, it kind of surprises me that, I don't know. I always kind of forget how great it looks, and then I play it again after playing the other two, and I'm like, whoa, this is a big improvement. Yeah, I mean, and most of all, not only do I think, in terms of the core Spyro 1-esque gameplay, do I think this is the best, but in terms of the variety and the minigames and the other characters you play as, I like pretty much all of it, if I'm being perfectly honest. I love playing as Sheila, I love playing as Sergeant Bird. Bentley's mechanics are fine, it's just that, you know, there needed to be more levels that took advantage of them. And I enjoyed playing as Agent 9 quite a bit, he's my favorite secondary character. Sparks is a lot of fun. The mini games that you play as Hunter all relate to the Spyro 2 ones, so it's not like they're anything drastically different from what we did in the last game. The mini games that you play as Spyro can be a little bit more hit and miss than those ones can, like that tank war mini game where you're in the tank, hovercraft, and you have to shoot at people was a little bit more annoying than I remembered. But then you have the really clever ones, like this one right here that they're showing. Where you have to use the plants and, you know, do some puzzle platforming to get to the top. Like, there's just a lot of gameplay highlights in Spyro 2 and Spyro 3, and it's just a lot of the annoying things from Spyro 2 have either been removed or tweaked and improved in some way. And I don't know, it's just, this to me, for all of those reasons, is easily the best game of the original trilogy. Like, this is the one that I find myself wanting to replay the most. It's just like, whenever I'm like, I feel like I'm in the mood to play some classic Spyro right now, I'll usually just make a beeline straight for Spyro 3, and maybe play Spyro 1 and 2 after that if I'm still in the mood. It just feels like the epitome of what this gameplay style for this series had to offer. And it's not to say it's a flawless game, that's not to say that there aren't things I might have done differently if I was in the designer's chair, like I might have tightened up the controls and some of the alternate play styles. I would have varied up the level plots a little bit, because as is, it just feels like every level is Rhinox showed up and did a thing. When Spyro 2, to give it credit where it deserves, had a lot more variety in terms of what you saw in levels. We hope you have enjoyed the Spyro trilogy. I definitely have, fellas. We have had 4 great fun, sleepless years creating it. You can find us at insomniacgames.com. And yeah, that's it. That's the credits. So yeah, Spyro 3, it's a great game, but it is far from flawless. Like, there are certainly mini games that could have been better. I would have liked to have seen one more section for each of the alternate playable characters, because as is, it feels like Bentley kind of got the shaft in that regard in terms of what he had available. Like, Sheila has 5, but the other characters I would have liked to have seen just a teeny bit more of them. And yeah, but otherwise I think this is the best one, easily. But I digress. We have one more thing left to look at here before we could close out this playthrough. And depending on how long this took, I might, you know. So as you can see, the skill points now have a description, whereas before they did not. In Spyro 2, it was literally just the name of the skill point, I think. Whereas here you get both the name of the level and what you have to do in order to get that skill point. So for example, if you had not found the skill point in Seashell Shore, I don't know, I'm trying to remember. Either it shows up as blank and you have to go to that level to figure out what it is, or it shows both of them and then you have to get it. And then the letters will change color after you get it. I don't know. I didn't happen to miss any by the time I unlocked the screen, so who knows. But either way, it'll tell you this level has 2 skill points, and that will help you kind of narrow it down. So that's an improvement over Spyro 2, for sure. And just like Spyro 2, there is an epilogue. For each of the skill points you unlock an extra page in this epilogue. So let's go check that out real quick. Nancy wins gold at last. The dreaded curse of the tail snake comes true. The seals invent the sport of squidboarding. And on that note, originally the skateboarding minigame was going to be with squids, but they changed it to skateboarding when they decided that they wanted to have more sections with it. Just fun fact. The game of Whack-A-Bentley is born. A Rhinoc prima donna entertains Cloud Spires. The Bailey gang finds an easy target. Zoe and Amy compete for Sparks' affections. Now hold on, Amy, you're married. What are you doing? Deputy Holiday catches the notorious Nya gang. Nasty Nork and Ripto hold a summit to discuss the Spyro problem. And originally, the plot of Enter the Dragonfly was going to be Nasty Nork and Ripto teaming up, but then it became just Ripto for some reason. Bah! Hunter discovers babysitting is harder than it looks. Thank you for playing. We'll miss you. That's it. And just on that note, I guess final thoughts of the trilogy in general here, just on this amazing end screen here. That little picture right there. I don't know, it almost makes me cry. Almost. The Spyro trilogy is really special to me. I've been a fan of the character ever since I was young, and even though I didn't grow up with these original PlayStation games, discovering them later was a lot of fun still. Like, these games hold up. Even Spyro 2, for all the criticisms I have with Ripto's Rage for its story and some of the mini-games, is still a blast to play, even to this day. These are just really well-designed, tightly crafted collectathon games, and they're very accessible, they're easy to 100%. I can recommend them to pretty much anyone who likes 3D platforming games, and I thought Spyro himself is a great, different kind of mascot character for these platformers. Stuart Copeland's musical style is unique and fun. It's just, there's no series that could fill the void that Spyro has created. It's just clearly the developers had the time of their lives making these games, and yeah. I'm glad that they're gonna get a second chance with Reignited Trilogy, and that people who missed out on these games before will get, the opportunity to play them with a fresh coat of HD paint. I mean, who knows, maybe they'll have problems similar to the Insane Trilogy and will be flawed, or they could be really great, or they could be somewhere in between. I don't know, the games aren't out yet, but you guys can look forward to remake or rebreak episodes on those games when the remakes come out. But until then, this has been Exo's playthrough of the original Spyro trilogy, and thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys eventually for another playthrough, but for now, it's just gonna go to full-time Sonic Adventure until that's up, and then after that point, I highly recommend you guys go check out my other Let's Play channel, Game Mavericks, for Zebro's Play. Those are the playthroughs I do with my brother. Go check those out, those are a lot of fun. Those are the funniest playthroughs I do. So yeah, I hope you guys will watch those and enjoy those, and yeah, until next time, I'm Exo, and thank you all for watching. Take care, bye.